Hello and welcome to another screencast. This time I'll be talking about mostly here in this slideshow, the protective connective tissue membranes of the heart, as well as characteristics of cardiac muscle cells, muscle tissues. So as we know, the heart is located in the center of the chest here, just deep to the breastbone and to the sternum, and there are connective tissue layers around the heart. Those connective tissue layers, membranes, are called the pericardium, right? So peri, around, cardium, heart. Lateral to the heart, of course, are the lungs. There are connective tissue layers around the lungs as well, not labeled on this diagram, but these are the pleura, right? Or a pleural membrane, or just pleura for short. So that's important because we see that the heart and the lung are right next to one another, and when this heart is contracting inside the chest, it's moving, and when we are breathing in and out, inhaling, exhaling, the lungs are moving, so these organs are sliding past one another, so these membranes need to have a fluid that's going to make them have lower friction between the two of them, and those membranes here at the base of the heart are sort of continuous with one another right there, so kind of anchoring themselves together, and then the pericardium is anchored to the the diaphragm here at the base of the thoracic cavity. So if we look a little bit closer at what's going on here, we take a zoom in look here at the atrium, and we see here that this is the actual muscle. These are the muscle cells, the tissues themselves, the cardiac muscle, which we'll look at in detail in just a second. But this pericardium around the outside is actually two layers here. There is a parietal pericardium, which is there's a fibrous part, and then the serous membrane part here. So this is the parietal, and this is the one that is going to be, so on this side you would have the pleural membrane, right? Pleural membrane there in contact with it. Then in this pericardial cavity, there is a pericardial fluid, right? And then you have the epicardium, or the visceral layer, the visceral serous membrane, and that's the connective tissue membrane that's directly in contact with the cells themselves right here. On the other side, that lining the chamber, and this chamber would either be an atrium, right, or atria, right, or the ventricles, so either one. This endocardium is present. Now this endocardium, since it's lining a chamber, it's lining a cavity, is technically an epithelium, right? And it's not open to the outside world, however. This is extremely smooth, right, to prevent any sort of blood cells, white blood cells, red blood cells, platelets from clumping on them, etc. So this endocardium, this epithelial layer, is continuous with, will be continuous with the endocardium of the blood vessels, right? Either arteries leaving the heart, right, or the veins entering the heart. Right? So that endocardium again is going to be continuous with that. So a point I want to make, something I want to point out right here is that, so these muscle cells are right here. So the muscle cells of this ventricle need oxygen, need nutrients, need to get rid of wastes. But that oxygen and the waste is not going to be transported across, there'll be blood in here. It's not going to be transported across the endothelium, right? So this transport does not happen there. And again, so here are muscle cells over here. The muscle cells of this ventricle, this right ventricle, do not get their oxygen and carbon dioxide exchanging going on across this endothelium. And again, it does not happen up here in the atria as well. These cells of the atrium do not get oxygen, carbon dioxide, nutrient waste exchange across there because the endothelium is impermeable to them. And again, these cells up here in the atrium do not get their oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange across that endothelium, right? Nor do they get nutrients or wastes exchanged across there. That endothelium is impermeable to all those things. So that is the job of the coronary arteries and the cardiac veins, to deliver oxygen and remove carbon dioxide, respectively there, and those cardiac veins are dealt with in another slideshow. Right? So it might be a good idea here to kind of just pause and summarize the connective tissue membranes on the surface, and then